welcome to week 6, episode 2. All right, so last week we got to learn all about surrealism, and we ended it with René Magritte. And yesterday we got to do our draw-along inspired video that was inspired by his painting Les Fils de Homme. And today our new genre or style of painting is called abstract expressionism. Now, abstract art or abstract expressionism is when artists take shape, line, and color and create an artwork, and that artwork doesn't have to represent anything or any familiar object. Now, most abstract artwork or abstract expressionist artwork, keyword expressionist, is artwork that's made basically from an idea or an emotion. So it's the artist expressing themselves. The abstract expressionist artist that we're learning about today, her name is Helen Frankenthaler, and she was actually an American. So she was born right here in the States on December 12th, 1928 in New York, New York. So one fact about Helen Frankenthaler is that she was an abstract expressionist, and she also created a really cool technique of painting called color field painting, where she would take oil paint and she would water it down so it was kind of transparent, which means kind of see-through, to where it looked like watercolor. And she would use big strokes of maybe a blue and maybe big strokes of red, because she was making fields of color. So if you can imagine like a field of flowers, it would be a field of color. Also, Helen was such a successful artist that she started painting in the 1950s and was able to keep painting and be successful as an artist all the way up until the early 2000s. That's 6 decades of painting, which means 60 years. In just a moment, we're going to get to see some of Helen Frankenthaler's abstract expressionist color field paintings. Keep an eye out for those big broad strokes that I told you that she uses. All right, in just a moment, I'm going to switch that screen and we're going to get to see some of Helen Frankenthaler's artwork. Remember, during this time, if you want to share out with someone nearby, pause the video and we can practice our table talk, because remember, we want to pretend like we're in the classroom. Here we go. Portrait of Helen Frankenthaler. I like this picture because you can see the paintings behind her and on the floor, and it kind of looks like a room. Mountains and sea. I think Helen probably used the blue for the sea and maybe the green or the brown colors for the mountains. This isn't a really great photo, but I wanted y'all to see how big the mountains and sea painting is. It's pretty big, right? The flood. So Helen flooded her canvas with color. This is a true color field painting. Every inch is covered with color. Here's Helen Frankenthaler in front of her painting, The Flood. Look how big that painting is. It's gigantic. Provincetown window. I really enjoy the type of shapes Helen Frankenthaler uses inside of this painting. This is how Helen normally painted. It was on the floor. All right, we got to see some of Helen Frankenthaler's abstract paintings. Were you able to see her big, broad strokes of color in her color field paintings? Also, would you say she used more geometric shapes or more organic shapes that had curvy lines? I think she used more organic shapes. This brings us to the end of the video. I will see you tomorrow with a draw-along video inspired by the abstract expressionist painter, Helen Frankenthaler. I hope you have an amazing day. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.